Welcome back to Reader Reads on our Entitled Parents, where OP has a weird experience with a mom on a public bus. I, 15-year-old male, was on a bus in New York City on a trip to visit my older brother who goes to college there. I had already been on the bus for about 10 minutes when a mother and her son walk on as well. These happen to be the entitled mom and kid of the story. The bus was pretty packed, and I had a few open seats next to me, which they chose to sit in. During this trip, I had been reading a manga. It was Yotsuba, for anyone wondering. Now, if you know how manga work, you would know that they are read from right to left and from front to back. So basically, they are read in reverse order to standard comics. The kid, who looked to be about 9, notices that I'm flipping the pages backwards and asks me why. Here's how the exchange went down. Kid: Hey, aren't you reading that book backwards? Isn't it confusing? Me: Oh no, it's a Japanese comic. It's made to be read this way. See? I proceed to demonstrate by showing him how the story made sense from right to left, rather than left to right. Kid: Whoa, that's crazy. Why do you think they do that? At this point, the entitled mom overhears our conversation and decides to join in. Entitled mom: Why do you think they do what, honey? Kid: Look, mom, this book is read backwards. Isn't it cool? The EM takes the book and lets out a small shriek loud enough to garner the attention of everyone around us, but only for like a second. EM: Why are you showing this to my child? You're going to confuse him and ruin his education. Me: Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. He was curious, so I was just showing him how these Japanese comics are read differently to ours. EM: Well, you're going to make him want to read books backwards as well, and then he'll start to perform worse in school. Didn't you know he was top of his class? I can't just let you ruin that. By the way, the kid seemed to completely understand that only special books were read this way, and I don't think he would be that confused. Me: I'm very sorry, ma'am. I'll just keep to myself. Would you mind returning my book? EM: No, I think I'll hold on to it so you don't go confusing other people's kids. Me: Ma'am, that is my property, and by withholding it from me, you are stealing from me. I suggest you return it now before I get the police involved. Kid: Mommy, just return the book. EM, directed at her son: No, shush now. Directed at me: You're not going to call the police over one comic book. Me: Ma'am, you don't understand how petty I can be. Now, if you don't mind, my stop is coming up, and I would like to get off with all of my possessions. At this point, I pulled the book out of her hands without ripping it, thankfully, and got up to get off the bus. At this point, I could hear her yelling about how much trouble I'm going to get in when the authorities hear about this, but I was never contacted, so I wonder what happened to that threat. Could you imagine being so crazy that you just can't comprehend that it's okay to tell someone that there's an exception? Like, I get that it's her kid and all, but my goodness. I don't know a ton about anime, but I'm linking a picture up of what I think is something in relation to that manga. I cannot imagine having to tolerate a mom like the one in this one. I work in a car dealership and have recently been promoted from move them to whatever department they're needed in that day to full-time salesman. We constantly have to tell people that certain vehicles haven't been released yet or that they don't even exist. Today, a woman and her 20-something son came in and walked right up to me and immediately started barking orders. Entitled mom: Pull up the 2021 F-150 Titanium, red, leather. Me: I'm so sorry, ma'am. The 2021 isn't going to be released for a while. We do have some 2019 F-150s here that you can take a look at. EM: What do you mean you don't have them in? I saw online that they're on sale. Me: They aren't released yet, ma'am. If you are set on a 2021 though, I can set an email notification that will let you know the second we get them on our lot. Son: My friend drives a 2019, so I need a 2021. Me: The 2019 is definitely a good one. It's a popular choice among young men. and it has a good towing capacity as well. Son, you have 2020s out for other cars. Why don't you have a 2021? Our designers take the time to make sure everything is just right and perfect for our customers. God, I forgot to censor this part. Yeah, don't lie to me. I've read articles on how you hide the new releases in the back and mess around with them. Then you take your sweet ass time milking money out of us with the old ones. Me, I promise you that is not the case. We usually learn from the same sources that you do when everything will be officially released. I need to think this over. Where is your restroom? I point her to the restroom and she takes her son along. I spend the next minute or so logging the conversation. Suddenly, I hear one of our service techs over the PA. Can we have a salesman come to the shop immediately? It takes a second to register, but I soon realize what's happened. Our restroom is located in the same hallway as the door to the shop, which is labeled with a big sign saying employees only. I sprint to the shop only to see EM walking around screaming at the techs to tell her where we hide the trucks, while her son is just chilling by the door. The techs have no idea how to respond and are doing their best to keep her away from the vehicles that are being worked on. I run over to her and start to panic, thinking she might get hurt. After all, we were surrounded by heavy machinery, and she was strutting around like she was on the sales floor. Me, ma'am, please come back to the sales floor. It's very dangerous back here. We pay our tax dollars to fund this. I have more rights here than you do. Me, ma'am, please listen to me. I need you to come back up front. EM, why? Because you're scared I'll expose your lies? At this point, the service manager made his way into the back. He's a no-nonsense kind of guy, and looked like he was about to drag her out by her collar. SM, ma'am, customers are not allowed back here. I need you to follow your sales associate up front, or I will have to inform the police. You are trespassing. EM, and who the hell do you think you are? SM, I am the service manager. It's my responsibility to ensure that our employees work in a distraction-free environment, and you screaming is a definite distraction. EM, then tell me where the 2021 F-150s are. SM, they are not out yet. Please go up front or I will have you removed by the police. EM, how about you piss off and stop lying? I'm not stupid. She then tries to walk past him, only for him to step in front of her. SM, this is your last warning, ma'am. Go back up front or I am calling the police. EM, you would lose a sale because you won't admit you're wrong? The service manager pulls out his phone and dials 911. As he begins talking to the operator, EM runs back up front, her son trailing behind her. They get in their car, drive off, scraping another customer's car in the process. I thank the service manager for saving my butt and decide to take an early lunch to calm down, knowing I have to file a heat case report once I get back. So far, we haven't heard anything from her, and hopefully we don't get any complaints. But we'll just have to see. Can you imagine just sitting there buying your Ford Fusion and seeing some salesperson interact with a crazy lady who's just like, no, I know you're hiding the trucks from me. I know they're in the back. I'm gonna go find out. I know you're lying to me. What do you do at that point? Like, how do you help someone like that? Honestly, anime and Ford trucks in one episode is not something that I thought I'd be doing today, but I'm okay with it. If you're okay with it, hopefully you're okay with it. I think you're okay with it.